Hello, everyone, and welcome to State of the Realm. We've been on hiatus for a couple weeks, and I'll talk a little bit about that at the start of the show. Nothing wrong. I've just been busy the past couple weeks. That's all. But I'll talk about it at the start of the show. This week, we're just kind of checking in, seeing how things have been going so far, what we've got done, rating experiences, other goals, and some recent news that popped up out of Gamescom and the anticipation for more. I'm one of your hosts, Mrhappy, and of course, joining me is the person who asked me and reminded me we should probably do a show literally yesterday, Sly. How you doing?
Hi. Well, to be fair, I did ask like
Monday.
Are we gonna do a show? Yeah.
And I was like, I'll let you know. And then yesterday you're like, so
we doing a show?
Yeah, we're doing a show. And I was like, I don't think so. And I was like, fuck it. Yeah, we can do a show.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, my life has been tumultuous in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
So I just haven't organized. I just haven't organized one. He's part of the reason.
Yeah.
Right there.
Part of that reason.
Yeah. No, I was in New York for what are you doing, Sly? What's wrong with the light?
It keeps coming.
You just want to show the Reba shirt. I don't actually think anything's wrong with it. I think you're full of it.
Like for once, like for my softbox, like I have it set and it just droops like automatically.
I think you just want to show the Reba shirt off. I think I've got your game all figured out. You can't fool me.
Oh, whatever.
That's the sound of someone who's guilty. Oh, whatever. That's exactly what someone who's guilty would say. Yeah, no, I was in New York 1 week and then I just didn't coordinate a show because I was away for 3 days. That was for Metaphor ReFantasio, which, yeah, that's going to say SMT might be your Atlas thing. I think this one's going to be mine.
Funny because it has a little bit of SMT soul in it.
It does.
You may not know.
No, I can tell it does.
Like even if you didn't really do a deep dive, I know you got some hands-on. Some of the terminology in terms of the abilities and spells come from SMT.
I know.
Yeah,
I played a little bit of SMT. I recognize the handful of them there. I mean, it's no surprise Atlas, of course, is going to use what they have at their disposal.
When you have something called Soul Hacker, like, okay, all right, Atlas, stop it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the sound effects in what we played are literally used in SMT. Like, I think they literally said, hey, we use these in SMT5. We're going to use them in Metaphor also. Like, I'm almost certain of it. Yeah, so I was away that week. The following week, I had to catch up with some other personal matters. And now, well, he's not on screen anymore, but Aloha isn't feeling super well. So that was dominating this week for me and may or may not dominate next week. So next week is going to be up in the air as well. We shall see. I'll have more information about that on Wednesday. But there's tons of shows we could have done. We have not talked about specific roles. We haven't talked about any of the other features. And now we have news coming out of Gamescom as well. So I will say this, though. I think the team has been a little quieter than they were at the end of Endwalker in terms of news cycle. So it's been a little bit strange.
Fair.
Yeah. At Endwalker, we had a live letter by this point. We had the Endwalker roadmap live stream.
Yep.
And we have not had that for this, even though we were told Dawn Trail was going to get a roadmap show or a roadmap live letter. So where is it, Sly? What's going on?
Don't ask me. You have the magic phone to Yoshi P.
Got to pick up the phone, Yoshi P. Listen, the raid tier was done in 9 hours. We really need some news. I don't know what you can do about that, but like, can we get the roadmap so we can speculate on it for the next like 5 weeks before whatever live letter we get is, you know? Realistically, they're probably doing it as part of whenever the next live letter is, which we still don't know. But if it were to be on schedule, TGS, which is around the corner, would be a very likely culprit.
Yeah.
And so that's really the big thing we're waiting on. But we do have some stuff to talk about out of Gamescom. Before we do that, thanks to our sponsors over on Patreon for supporting. You don't have to support, you choose to. All our content is available for free. You can watch it on YouTube. You can listen to it on whatever your podcasting platform of choice is. Download it directly off SoundCloud. Listen to it on Spotify, wherever. It should be in all those places. So thank you. Thank you to them.
Thank you.
So before we get into some of the more recent news, as I do expect this will be a shorter show, what have you been up to recently, Sly, since I haven't gotten to speak to you much in the last 2-3 weeks?
No. Same old. 14. Monkey.
Yes, Monkey.
Gundam. Started Gundam Breaker 4 last night because that just released.
I've been getting ads all over my Instagram for that from Bandai. All over.
Yes. It is so much fun. It is like so much fun. It's basically a kit bashing game. Like, if you don't know what kit bashing is, basically is where you take parts from one Gunpla set and put them on another, so you can put like a Zaku arm on a Gundam, or give your Gundam little SD legs, which is super deformed, which just means like little teeny tiny legs, so you can make like this mishmash. Or you can take parts and make a Gundam chicken, which someone has done before.
I would eat a Gundam chicken. Deep fry it. Okay. Just deep fry it. It'll be fine. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. How about 14? How's your rating been going, or any ancillary goals you've been working on?
For the most part, it's been okay. I mean, I just need to fucking finish. I just need to finish M3. I'm seeing everything of the fight, but our static has an issue. Like, we're missing a person.
Okay.
We've been trying to recruit for a long time, and why is it so fucking hard to find a Fizz range?
Because we don't want to play it, Sly. We know what we
know.
We know.
Oh my God,
we know. We
fucking awful.
No, literally, every group I'm ever in is always desperate to find a Fizz ranged. Every single. That's why I get stuck on Fizz range in every group that I play, because literally nobody else is like, I will play Fizz range. Like, oh, we've got 2 melees applying. Here's a caster applying. Here's some healers. Here's some tanks. Because the Fizz range don't want to do it, because they're like, once I'm in, you know?
And then, so of course we have to PF the Fizz ranged. And last week we had a good one, but that was when like we had the DDoS issues, and it was like, yeah, that was Friday night. So yeah, we had DDoS issues, and then we just had to go. So that was probably the highlight. For the most part, otherwise it's been either they can't do the mechanics. And see, we have this issue of are you doing Hector or Pacebin?
Oh, God. Like, Sly, that's not your issue. That's the entire Party Finder's issue.
Yep. And then there's the buffs out of sync. So,
I can't help you with buffs out of sync. Just press your buttons.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They don't like pressing buttons.
I know. Oh, I know. I've seen it before, Sly. I haven't PF'd in the last 2 weeks, but I PF'd a decent bit before that, because now I'm doing splits until everybody's kind of donezo with their characters. So, and then I'll be PFing on maybe even both characters at that point. I don't know.
God bless your soul.
I don't mind PFing because I get really funny clips out of it that I can then go post onto YouTube and shit. That's the best part about PFing.
Like that M4.
Yeah, like being handed a mustard bomb. That's yeah. I'll take it.
That is what we call in our static. That's what we call in our static a hit. Targeted
hit and run. They ran. I stayed still. I was 50 Cent in this case.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just drove by and said, "Well, we want that guy."
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't mind PF that much. Not to mention the last PFs I did was I came back from the Metaphor event, And I was like, shit, I got to PF on a fucking Friday. Oh, kill me. Because my group went Wednesday that week. They're like, we can only do Wednesday. So I was like, all right, I'll just PF. Just get a sub for me. I waited 2.5 hours for the PF to fill. And then we cleared 1 through 4. So it was nice. And then the following day, well, actually, then that night, I helped Minda and Joy on 1 and 2 and left for 3 because it was just getting late. And then I did 3, and then I did a 4 PF, and it was a clear party. So it was 8 out of 8 uncleared people, and we cleared. So
there was one time we had PF'd a.
That was where I got assassinated, by the way, was in that party.
There was one time we had to PF a healer. I think it was this week. For M2. And this was the end of what? End of 3rd beat?
Oh,
for some reason,
I know where this is going. I know exactly where this is going.
For some reason. No. We did all of 3rd beat. Great. But by the time we reach end of 3rd beat, half the fucking party dies.
Half the party dying would be either the spreader stack or just dying to 3rd beat's damage.
No, that'd be it.
Sounds like something went wrong in beats 1 and 2 then, because you should not.
No. We had absolutely no hearts. This was a heartless beat 3 where everything was done right. We just didn't.
Well, then actually something wasn't done right, Sly, because there's these buttons.
We just didn't get
reprisal,
mitigation.
addle, faint.
No, that was up. Faint was up. I always faint. Like I'm the person who has the faint for every.
Well, then the other 2 definitely weren't, because if you have no hearts and you have only those 3, you will live. I promise you.
Yeah, we died as a finale. Like, and it was like, wait, and Our raid lead, who's the tank, he's like, well, my uncle from Nintendo says that we didn't get mitigation, and like half the people were pretty much low.
That'll do it too. If everyone is still missing health from the previous thing, that'll definitely. I hadn't even considered that. I was like, yeah, of course they're full health. Okay, no, that's more reasonable. Yeah, M2 though, that's the fun one. It's funny. I posted a clip of me just. The way I do beat 1, our static actually does ranged and casters get 3 hearts priority. Because we have 2 melees, 2 tanks. Why the fuck would we not just put them in the stack, right?
Yeah. So I always get 2 hearts.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong. If I can't get to 1, like we just let someone else do it. Like it's not like set in stone, but that's how we do. So in PF, I have a rule. I try to get the 3 stacks so I don't have to do the mechanic. I don't try to bully someone out of a tower. But I'll still try to get I'll be like I'll slip into one if it's nearby. I'll slip into 2, 3, whatever. And I had a few people who were upset that as a fizz range that I was doing that, and I'm just like, bruh, we have just don't. What do you mean? I'm not making the caster not do it. There's 2 healers and a caster. I'm the other one who gets a fucking choice.
Same M2. Every time the healer got the stack, they would be south. I mean, so south that we couldn't be in the stack, and they would do it every time, and it made us cry. Like we're crying melee tears. Why would you do this?
The stack always targets the person with the lowest number of hearts, unless multiple people have the lowest number of hearts, in which case it'll target one of them randomly. So it's very unfair. Actually, it might not be random. It might be the person who's farthest away with the lowest number of hearts.
Yeah, and they always had 1 heart.
Well, so they always had 1 heart, then they were deliberately, then that explains it. Because if you have only 1 heart, everybody else will have more than you. If you have 1 heart, no one else can only have 1 heart there, unless somebody was just eating stacks on purpose. Like they were like, let me just take towers to 4. Who cares? Yeah. So, that would frustrate the hell out of me too. But I got, people got upset as a fizz range. I was just like, anyone else try to get to 3 stacks on purpose? And my entire chat was like, yes. Listen, there's one thing in PF you need to understand is that unless you suck at the game and you know it, you are the best player on your team. Even if you're not the best player on your team, you need to play like you're the best player on your team. And in other words, I might be fizz ranged, but I'm not entirely certain I'm not out DPSing the melee and party finder. So they're going to do the goddamn mechanic, and I'm going to stay back and keep hitting the boss, all right? Because I got my weapon, and I don't know what the fuck they got. Let the melees and tanks do it. So,
yeah.
Would it probably be better if someone who actually is confident in the mechanic goes and do it? Sure. But you know what? They need to learn. They need to learn. I don't need to learn. They need to learn. So I bail out. So yeah, we're working on M3. Are you going tonight then? Because you said Friday that one time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going tonight.
Yeah, it'll be easy. Easy clear. Calling it M3 and M4 done tonight.
Tom, he has faith that we don't.
I mean, it could get DDoSed again tonight. That's true. But, you know, that's fine.
Oh, God.
You're welcome. I've just saved you from raid night. Enjoy whatever else you were going to do.
Gundam and drinking.
If your power holds up.
Yeah, then just drinking.
Just. All right. So, all caught up. I've been working. I got all my combat jobs to 100. So nice. That's done. You know, it's funny. I got the Outrunner, and I actually made a short for this I'm going to upload after we're done with this. The Outrunner has 4 emotes. That's the mount from getting to 100. It's or as people like to say, the Kafkuya mount. And I was like, no, I want the other Kafkuya mount. But anyway, damn, I'm surprised that didn't get a reaction out of you. You definitely seem like someone who wants the other Kafkuya mount.
No.
What do you mean, no?
I'm good.
I will not reduce myself to our baser instincts. It has 4 emotes. It's got one where it cries. It's got one where it's angry. It's got one where it's got static on the screen. And it's got one that's cheery. And I didn't realize this mount is all 4 of the emotions you experience in the Party Finder. You have sadness. That's every M2. Every single one. You've got anger, also technically every M2. Really, they're all just M2. Literally, I guess you could just boil it down to M2 in the PF. It's like, I'm sad that we died to that. I'm angry we died to that. How did we die to that? And thank God it's over.
Or M1. Or M1. Oh, we didn't tell them we were doing True North, huh?
Does anyone even do boss? I've never seen a PF say boss relative since like week 2.
We've seen a couple actually.
I'm shocked. Our static does boss relative, but like I've never seen boss relative since like week 1. I prefer to do it boss relative / clone relative.
Oh God.
I prefer it. There's just no point. You know how many people can't look north but can look at the boss?
I mean, the easiest thing to do for me, which I like rarely do, is just fucking strafe. That's all I'll do. Is just fucking strafe. That way, like I'm not turning the camera. I always so I won't get discombobulated. I always know where north is. Boom.
I'm just saying in that I'm already looking at the boss. I don't want to then also have to divert my eyes to the mini map. It's one extra step, essentially, for no reason. But PF can't do any amount of steps for any reason. So as long as they can do it, that's all that matters.
Oh, another thing. 2 other things that hate me. One, because we do, for Raining Cats, we do the tank and one. But for some reason, every time, like, even I will stay still for like a good 2 seconds. Like, tank, come pick up the tether. 2 seconds. And I move back and I still have the tether. So yeah. Tethers hate me.
That's not the tethers. You're being griefed. That's it. Why you can't blame the tethers for not the tether. Not, I mean, you can in 14, but you can't blame the tethers for the tank not taking the tether.
And then, of course, M3 fuse field. Me actually running over a fuse and nothing happening. And I'm like,
Okay.
running like a chicken with the
That
head
one
cut
slide,
off.
treat it like you're tethered to. So you know how in M2 when you meet in the middle, you tether with the other person to blow it up. You have to treat it like that. You have to stand. You can't just try to tap it in. This isn't.
No, like I run. Back,
No. Don't run.
I run through it again.
No. Don't. No, you got to stand on it like you're tethered to it.
Stand on it.
Stand on it until it blows up. Don't try to run through it. Don't try to run past it. Don't. Stand on that motherfucker.
Okay.
I'm telling you, that is how you resolve that issue, is you stand directly on it until it blows up. Because essentially what it's doing is it's checking based on the server tick. It's not checking when you're making contact. It's server ticking and then determining, it's not really, it's checking every 1 second instead of every 3, but that's what it's doing.
Yeah, but like the first time it happened, and I'm like, they're like, Sly, blow yours up. And I'm doing it, and my fucking Raidley is just like laughing hysterically because it's like, no, you didn't do it wrong. It's just server ticks.
Well, I'm saying you did do it wrong because you should do it based on the server tick.
Yeah.
They're telling you did.
I mean, like I made a literal attempt to do the mechanic. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing wrong?
No.
Like, I am like jumping on this thing. I'm like,
I got you. I'll tell you were wrong. That way you know for certain you were.
Okay.
Okay. So there's that. Yeah, no, but the Outrunner, that's it. I found 4 different moments that represent. You know, it's funny. One of the 4 moments from my Outrunner video is the fuse field. Actually, their fuse expired. They died. They didn't ignite it, and then the mechanic just went away, and we didn't all wipe.
Wait, it expired?
So their debuff expired, and they died. They didn't step on the fuse and blow it up, right? But then the fuse didn't reach the center, and we lived.
Were they the last fuse?
Yeah.
Damn.
It was the very last one. It sure was.
Jesus.
No, we never got an explosion. That's it. We never had a raid-wide explosion. We never had it disarmed. It was lit up, and it was going towards the center the entire time, and then the center disappeared, and it just didn't blow up. I'm just literally like this, waiting for it to explode. Like I stopped pressing all my buttons, and then I see the center disappear.
Yep, I would too.
And then
I probably would have walled it.
Yeah,
and I probably would have just walled it. Yeah.
I'm not talking about like it was the last second it was available. Like no, it was like they died, then 5 seconds passed, and then we didn't die, and I was just like. And then we died to something else later, so I didn't even get to. That wasn't even like the clear for the week. But that's fine. Yeah, that was wild. I've never. There's a few things I've seen where something definitely should have gone wrong and didn't across the tier, but we take those as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And then other than that, I'm working on my Ronique now. Yeah. I'm 14 out of 100. Honestly, it's so easy. This is so much easier than the Fates, and I'm not even doing it the fast way. Which is fishing, apparently. I'm not doing that. Not a shot. Not a shot in the dark. No, because I need 8,000 collectibles anyway, so I need as many as possible. Because for my birthday marathon this year, after I'm done with Ultimate, I'm trying to collect every platinum for every... First, I'll start with the mainstream Final Fantasy games on PlayStation. I'm going to collect every trophy. And that includes 14. And
so you're doing it from scratch, or are you grandfathering in?
I'm grandfathering because they actually updated grandfathering in Dawn Trail. So now you don't need to like redo everything. I think you just open the achievement tab and it updates like an in-game achievement tab. Which means I only need 2 achievements. I only need 8,000 gathering collectibles and 5,000 crafting collectibles. I'm like more than a quarter to the Gathering once. Honestly, if I really wanted to, I can bang out the Gathering collectibles in a few days, because there's the collectibles that are just free form. Like, they don't need to have any amount of collectability, you know? They just need to, they need to, I guess they should have enough for me to turn them in, like for 3. But I could just freely grab all the collectibles out on the map and just do that. I have a Luminary pickaxe. This doesn't scare me, all right? You can't scare me away. I forget how many, what is it, like 13,000 nodes for the Luminary pickaxe, I think it is. I think you need like 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000 at the various levels. Yeah. Because the platinum trophy for 14 only goes up to Heavensward. There's new trophies after that, but the platinum trophy only requires up to the Heavensward amount. And that's only for PS5. For PS4, you only need a Realm Reborn, so you don't even need the collectibles for that.
Damn.
So it's I'm gonna be working on that. Those are my current 14 related goals when I'm done with Visions of Mana, which I've been enjoying so far.
How is that, by the way?
I've been enjoying it quite a bit. There's a rumor going around that they're going to shut down the studio. Not Square, mind you. NetEase, who's invested in them. And after Wukong succeeded, I bet all the Chinese companies are pulling out of like developers overseas. They haven't confirmed they're doing it yet, but they're very likely to do it. I fully believe NetEase will pull out, but then Square will probably just pick them up like they did the Bravely team.
Yeah.
So I'm not too worried for them. I'm going to keep enjoying it.
What was the other Chinese Souls like that's coming out? I forget the name of it.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. Someone was just talking about it in my chat yesterday.
Shadow something, I think. I forget what it is, but yeah, that's...
You're getting a little crackly, by the way. I assume that's Thor's doing.
Wait.
Or Discord's doing, to be fair. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest, to be completely honest. My microphone's been messing up. Your microphone been messing up. There's no winning on that front. Whenever he does that, he's looking out the window trying to figure out how bad is it right now. What, you want to make sure you don't get electrocuted as you're plugging it back in? Oh, man. I'll give him a second, ladies and gentlemen. Then we'll start going over the other stuff. We're done doing another
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. That's what I'm going to continue working on. But it looks like I haven't even done the extreme trial mounts yet, by the way. That's how far behind I am. But based on some of the interviews, I may want to get a lot of this done before 7.1. Because I'm going to be hella busy.
So, yeah, you were saying we had some interviews come out of Gamescom. What news did we get?
So a lot of the interviews had one overlying theme that was the same between all of them. And that's probably the least, I'm not going to say it's the least interesting bit, but it's like, I guess it doesn't really answer questions about what's next for the game. It kind of dwells on what was. And it's, how does Yoshi P feel about Dawn Trail's mixed reception? That was like every single one of them, like, started with this question. And every single time he basically said the same thing. He expected it to be divided and that they've learned some lessons about the ways they handled certain characters and surprises with other characters that were like they said with Wook Lamont, they didn't make her confident enough, so they don't think it resonated with people nearly as much. And then the Scions were too omnipresent, so they're considering options with just maybe having none of them tag along, or like only just one or two instead of the whole group, finding like random ways to come together. It was a lot of just like straight up reflecting on exactly what Dawn Trail was and saying like, here's the lessons we could learn, here's the approaches we could take. Maybe we could have done this, maybe we could have done. Every single interview essentially had like several paragraphs of that exact answer. Which we kind of touch upon with Michael when he was here last month.
Yeah.
about whether I don't know. I'm still kind of like everyone keeps asking me what I think of Dawn Trail. I was just like, oh, it was okay. I didn't hate it. I didn't really love it, but it was okay. Yeah.
I kind of feel the same way.
Yeah. So I don't know. For me, I don't know. That's a fluff piece. Like, is it interesting to hear how the dev team, like, whether or not the dev team hears reception like that? Sure. But I'm not like.
I mean, we're pretty vocal. So they're always going to hear the reception of it. They're always going to know how we feel. So I think that's kind of a non-issue slash, you know, I wouldn't say purposeless question, but again, it's like they know how we feel. We're really vocal.
Mm-hmm. Then there was some talk about job balancing mixed in there. One was the admission that the Savage tier was not rebalanced after the job buffs in 7.05, which got some people discussing whether or not that statement was even really relevant. Because in my opinion, regardless of it being true, it was undertuned way before 7.05. And only the fourth, I actually think 1 through 3 are tuned exactly right. It's only the fourth fight, I think, was undertuned.
Okay.
Because I think back to every other tier, and it's like, yeah.
So you wouldn't say the entire tier was like undertuned. You just say the last fight was undertuned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think they could have done more exciting things with the first 3 fights. But in terms of like the actual tuning relative to job strength.
It's already exciting enough. It's already exciting enough. PF makes it exciting, so no.
But what if, Sly, during alarm pheromones, you also had spread AoEs on everyone? What if one at a time, everyone also got...
everyone?
Yeah, one at a time, right? I don't want to get too crazy, just one at a time.
Okay. I was about to say, it sounds a little bit more reasonable than like on everyone at one. Like, what?
I mean, we could do that if you really wanted to, Sly. You know, you could just pretend that you could do that. You know, it could be more.
No.
Beat 2 is embarrassing. Like Beat 2, just stacking 2 stack markers is such a weird thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a few things here or there. You know, they could have done. I can't wait for the eventual alarm pheromone ultimate. Listen, no one's ready for it. All right. I'm ready. Okay, yeah, so there's that. But yeah, no, with the fourth fight, like, okay, so let's put this into perspective, Sly. Let's use my team's clear speed. You know, we're not like Giga Chad, like Orange Barse group with like, you know, the top of the line, everything's perfect gameplay. We clear the fight with 57 seconds remaining on week 1.
Still really good.
Okay, but that's my point. Is that's without being like a gold. Orange, like 95, always 95 above group.
When in comparison to yours, what were like for like top 2?
I don't know what everyone else's clear speeds were. They were around that. I think most groups actually did end up seeing a little bit into Sword Quiver.
Yeah. So I think like again, like you're basically. You are part of the Giga Chad.
No, but we're not. The whole point is that without being that, we were a minute ahead, right? Like we just had a nice clean run, essentially. Actually, we didn't even have a clean run. We had damage down and a death. So it was like, and actually 2 deaths, but that's besides the point. The point is that they're saying that because of the rebalancing, they didn't rebalance the fights for the buffs they did in 7.05. They just wanted to make more jobs closer to Pictomancer's strength. But realistically, they didn't really buff healer potencies by much. I think Dia got a potency increase. And then they had made other changes a few weeks before to like Astro cards and stuff like that, you know, for usability, light speed, etc. The 2 tanks we used weren't the ones that were buffed. So throw those out the window. Samurai, we didn't use. Reaper was already strong and got a little stronger. So, okay, tiny bit there. What was Whoops playing? Whoops wasn't playing Dragoon. No, he was. We were Reaper Viper, which was the best comp. Viper was actually a lot stronger. Viper got massively buffed. It's one job that got massively buffed. Another job that got a small buff. Fizz range didn't get buffed at all. And our caster was playing Picto, and then they died and had a damage down. I'm sorry, but your fight being beat a minute ahead of its enrage is not just job balance related. It was screwed up before that. We would have had like 45 to 40 seconds remaining. In fact, honestly, no, we probably would have had the same amount of time remaining if we didn't have Picto deaths and damage downs. Now, I will say this. It's balanced correctly for the PF. I have seen through Sword Quiver plenty in the PF. So, for chat's reference, how ahead of Enrage is the first tier normally? 5 seconds. Hesperos we beat on the Enrage cast finishing, last expansion. Titan, similarly. Titan was a little messed up, though, so that one's messed up because the whole fight was screwed up. Neo X-Death in the middle of his final baby rage, but like at the tail end of it. You're normally like, and the first tier, at most you're 10 seconds ahead, maybe 15, but 5 is where you are normally on a first clear, not 57. So, that was pretty rough. And no, they did not nerf Hesperos. They nerfed Hephaestus. To be fair, those names are pretty similar. Hesperos is Asphodelos, Hephaestus, or La Habrea, if you will, is Abyssos. So, yeah, no, they didn't touch Hesperos. But yeah, no, this was undertuned before any buffs came into play. They just did. So, I just don't agree. I don't agree with you, Yoshi P. It was screwed up before that. That's all. Now, Sly, what I don't want you doing is thinking about that when you're going through M4. Which you're going to beat tonight, according to my prediction.
Yeah, time tell Val that we're clearing tonight.
Yeah, why not?
Apparently.
Just accept it. What's the problem? If you just win, then it's over. Right?
Then, like, yeah, but there's the 30 to 40, damn it, like, the 30 to 40 minutes that we have to wait on the person to get in, and then...
No, it'll be instant. It'll be instant. It's Friday night, and they just got paid. They're ready to go. I believe.
Oh, God, it's worse on Friday. It's so worse.
I know. I waited 2.5 hours, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I remember. Yeah, just pull up your Raider bootstraps and let's go. Oh. All right. So there's that. That was another thing. Now, another topic was also specifically Viper.
Okay.
So as you recall, we had a discussion about Viper before its changes, predicting what they were going to do because people were calling it, and I quote, too busy. And then they got rid of the debuff and gave it a bunch of potency buffs that just made it even easier and way stronger. So apparently they were debating very heavily about what to do with Viper, or whether or not they should do anything with Viper the entire time. Even the lead dev was like, should I even do this? It's like, is this a good idea? Should we do this? Is this right? And the question specifically asked, was it based on community feedback? And they said that essentially it wasn't. They saw, like, some people were like, it's too busy. Some people said it's not. They had an idea for a change, and they were like, should we do it based on feedback? Like, what is the feedback telling us? And then they just essentially said, we're just going to do it. And it's going to be irrespective of the feedback. We're just going to make the change. And that is a wild admission to have, I feel, to just be like, they essentially said this is a change that we would make anyway somewhere down the line. So they predicted that at some point they would get rid of the debuff that Viper has to maintain when now we don't have it. So they just jumped ahead like however long.
Yeah.
I'm angry about that, Sly.
Why?
Because they're making the change to a job that hasn't even been out for a month. By the time they made that change, the job hadn't even been out for a month. They hadn't given people time to really acclimate, get used to it, fall into line with it, prune out players who didn't actually want to play it, and focus on the players who enjoyed it and what their feedback was. But my stupid fucking face is still waiting for half the machinist changes that I've been asking for 5 fucking years. And Serenia knows that. And we've been actively asking about it. And I asked that man to his face, and I can't get shit done.
Well, hasn't this happened before, Hapstone?
Yeah, it has. But why do they hate machinists?
No, I'm speaking of.
No, but I mean, like, that's my end result is always saying, every time I see other jobs get changes that either A, weren't asked for, or B, were asked for and were responded. What the fuck is going on with machinists?
Everything's fine.
No.
That's their response. Everything's fine. Machinist, everything's fine.
People have been asking for changes for that. Serenia is over there just like dying on the inside. He's always like, oh yes, surely. Remember what he said? He's like, there's no way they just opened the job action trailer with flamethrower.
Y'all keep fucking around. You're gonna get a middle of expansion fucking revamp.
No, that's saved for Dark Knight this time around.
No, fam. Y'all keep fucking around. Fuck around and find out. Y'all will get that middle of expansion revamp. Dark Knight will get it next expansion, but y'all gonna get it this expansion. Yep.
No, I think Machinist is stuck this way.
They have to know.
Sly. I literally said to the man's face at some point that Machinist people very often complained about ping issues on Machinist, and he told me, no, they didn't. You gotta remember, he said, we have not received feedback about Machinists having ping related. You can never forget that this happened, that I was the one who asked, and I was told, no, they What are you looking at? I can see the reflection in your eyes. What are you Googling? What are you doing? I can't make out the reflection in your glasses.
I'm on the forums. I'm on the forums.
We're on the forums? What, the Machinist forums?
Yeah, no, the 14 forum.
Yeah, but are you going to the Machinist forums on the 14 forums?
Yep, DPS for all Machinist ping related issues. Yeah.
It's right there.
It's right there.
There you go.
It's right there.
It's right fucking there. How long have you been wondering about, at this point, Stardiver's animation, huh?
Ever since it's been out.
There you go.
Yeah, that's not going to be a thing. You will never be able to double weave Stardiver with anything. No.
I leveled Dragoon last, and I was just like, oh god, here comes Stardiver.
Yep. Did you try to double weave shit into it?
Of course I did. I knew it didn't work, but I just wanted to give it a try.
Like, oh honey, no.
I knew it didn't work, but I had to experience it.
Yeah, we had this list of, okay, this off global, sure, you can do that. This one, it'll be iffy. It depends on ping. And then there's Stardiver by itself. Fuck no. Like, that's the chart for Dragoon. Stardiver is just fuck no.
Stardiver Dragonfire Dive is also pretty uncooperative, I noticed. I can, but it's I feel like it's more so than it should be. It feels like it's still designed like in a Realm Reborn jump.
Yeah.
That's how I'd say about it. I can double weave it, but I don't like to. Something feels off about it. So yeah, it was just really strange to read on paper that the Viper changes were essentially irrespective of feedback. They just But what even blows my mind more is how is it that they've determined Viper and Reaper are very fucking similar? How did they determine it would be a problem for Viper eventually, but not be a problem for Reaper? I guess because it was 20 seconds instead of 30s, and it doubled up to 40 instead of, like, it has to be because of that. That's the only discernible difference. Oh, and one of them is a combo chain, I guess, technically. So, you know, there's that. It's the first part of the combo, but it was part of a combo chain. As opposed to the other one, we're like, it's just a separate button press. Just press it whenever you want. I don't know. It's for me. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. The process, the thought process here. I just don't get it. It's not my forte, I suppose. I got nothing. Maybe they'll change Reaper. Maybe Reaper won't have it some point soon too. I don't know.
Do they really need to fix anything
for what, Dragoon?
Broken for Reaper.
Well, Reaper has the debuff to manage too. It just doesn't. It's just that it's 30 seconds instead of 20, and it's not part of a combo. So if you like just need to press it in the middle of something, like you can just press it whenever you want. So I guess they just determined that that's not annoying or stressful at all.
Yeah. On a side note, in any of these recent interviews from Gamescom, did the whole, you know, Picto being the strong come up in any of these interviews?
That's what he was saying. They said Picto was strong, and instead of nerfing Picto, they wanted, that's like part of they didn't rebalance the raid. It was very specifically, they said, we want to make other jobs closer to Pictomancer's strength. So they acknowledged it was where it was, yeah.
So it's kind of like bringing the floor up, not really the ceiling down.
Yeah, they don't like. We know that about the team. They very rarely want to bring the ceiling down, and that's why I predicted Picto wasn't going to get nerfed. Everyone thought I was crazy, and I'm like, no, they're just going to buff everything else. They've always done that. Why would I predict it would go the other way? You know. So that's what I was still surprised to see Viper get buffed, because Viper was already strong. It wasn't Picto strong, but it was still really strong when they buffed it. It was very clearly not just a numbers issue. In fact, most of the melee were doing okay. Dragoon and Ninja were kind of the two that like didn't even need Jesus. It's just like for Ninja, it was like, well, why play Ninja when Viper
mediocre?
Exists? Not even that. Dragoon's fine. Honestly, like
I mean, we're fine, but we're just mediocre. Which again, we've been always. There hasn't really been a time where Dragoon was like overly like, you know, at the top. It's just we've just been kind of sitting in the middle and just happy about it.
No, I'm happy.
I mean, the only thing we really bitch about is just fucking defensive.
You know, I made that joke constantly. I was leveling Dragoon. I was like, oh, here comes a raid wide. Time to use my defensives.
Yeah.
Every time. It's so funny because Viper actually has a pretty insane defensive in PvP.
In PvP. Yeah.
True story. So tonight, actually, I think it's China, Korea, Japan, and NA are doing a PvP tournament tonight.
Ooh.
I'm going to be shoutcasting that, actually.
Okay. With Frosty, I'm guessing?
No. I could find the detail. Let me see. I retweeted it. Actually, I have the original tweet. Oh, that's right. I can't go to it on my Discord because it'll fuck up the call.
No.
Here, I have it right here. There you go. Let's see. Yeah, OCE and C will be, China, Japan, Korea, OCE/C and NA. I don't know why EU's not. Maybe because of the latency. They won't. Yeah, no, it's Ragers Mafia on Twitter. I don't know who exactly I'm supposed to credit for this. But yeah, no, it's just Crystalline Conflict World Championship, CCWCC. So I'll probably raid that channel tonight when I go to do it. Yeah, apparently people liked when I did Wolves League because I got invited onto this, even though I haven't PvP'd since season 1 Crystalline Conflict. I have a very colorful speech pattern, however, though. So I was like, sure.
Very colorful.
Yeah, yeah, us New Jerseyans are very colorful. Yeah, I'll retweet that again and let everyone know. I think I'm starting at like 8 p.m. Pacific. I'll be on, which is perfect for me. Yeah. That works well for me. Looking forward to it. I really enjoy watching competitive crystalline conflict. I just don't play it that much. So yeah. I'm the guy who like can't remember all the actual ultimate names. So I'm just like the Reaper Ultimate instead of whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah. Good luck with that. I ain't remembering shit. I know mine. Sky High. That's it. Good luck. Everybody else.
Sky High strong. We do like Sky High in this house.
Yes, we do.
You know what's funny? When I was leveling Dragoon, every time I used what's it called? I want to say repelling shot for. What's your backflip called again?
Now you have me.
There you go. Yeah, I fucked you up, huh? Yeah.
God damn it.
Okay, yeah, elusive jump. Yeah, every time I use elusive jump, even though I don't PvP on Dragoon either, every time I elusive, I expect to be able to follow it up. Like I expect it to work like the PvP version, even though it doesn't work at all like the PvP version.
No. Mm-mm.
But yeah. So yeah, no, that was it. That's so they did. They acknowledged Pictomancer being way ahead of everything else. That's why they buffed everything. Everything except for fucking Fizz range and half the casters, sons of bitches. Anyway. Like that, fuck you guys. Stay even further behind. They don't need you. Listen, we need us. Please. Oh, man.
So any other news? Any other news coming out?
Yeah. There sure was. What? 7.1 is about to be scary.
Why?
So, a couple things to talk about with 7.1. They talked briefly about the difficulty of Dawn Trail's the Final Fantasy XI Alliance raids. And they said that they misstepped essentially with Dawn Trail's difficulty. They admitted to that. They've read the feedback on that, and they wanted to find a sweet spot for balancing these. So their sweet spot is they expect every group day one of the Final Fantasy XI Alliance raids to wipe 3 times before clearing a boss. So something akin to Weeping City, something akin to Dunskaith. That's not Ivalice. Ivalice is more than 3. I'd say Ivalice was a bit above that. Why are you looking at me like that, Sly?
This whole thing about difficulty again.
Well,
and I kind of knew it was gonna come up somewhere. But in the 11 raid though?
Well, the big thing is just, the Dawn Trail raids were a massive step back in any form of engage. I mean, to be like, we're literally skipping mechanics on expansion. Like, you know how much we make fun of Circus Tower for that? Like, oh, we skipped this mechanic, that mechanic. We were doing that on expansion for the Dawn Trail, for the Endwalker raids.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, they just weren't like, there's some cool things in there, and there's some stuff that it's like not like they missed across the board, but the places where they miss really like suck the enjoyment out of everything.
It feels ass backwards. It feels ass backwards a little bit where, you know, we got the difficulty in, I would say, more casual content
for Savage.
Dungeons.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say it's funny that the Savage raid's gonna be the easiest one we've had, and that the Alliance raid is gonna be one of the harder ones. Like one's up, one's down. There you go.
I was gonna go there too, but yeah.
I mean, there's got to be some fun. Like you can't just roll it. Listen, don't get me wrong. I like doing stuff for the aesthetics, for the music, for the voice, like whatever. That stuff's all fine. But I can't just be boring after one run, because once I've taken all those things in, like the most exciting thing about all of the Endwalker Alliance raids is blowing a kiss at Lim Lane, so she'll almost kill me, because that's the only excitement I can feel.
What are they gonna do? Put something like Panjin in the 11 raid? Like put like a good body check in there? No. Or something like the scales from.
That's fine. I mean, we skip scales, so it's irrelevant now. That's my whole point. We skip scales in Endwalker, and now we're in Dawn Trail, and it's even easier.
Something that one person could fuck up and just wipe the raid.
Yeah, it was just too easy across the board. And remember, Void Ark, they publicly apologized for how easy it was.
Yeah. Void Ark was.
Yeah, they publicly apologized. They said that it's below the standard we want for our alliance raids. And then Weeping City came out and they said, this is intended. We're not nerfing it. Because they did. The feedback turned the other way. There were people complaining Weeping City was too hard and demanding it be nerfed. And they said, haha, no. I loved that. So this is it moving. That's why I say this is probably more like Weeping City and more like Dunskate, because Ivalice was a disaster across like that. They nerfed Ivalice, and probably for good reason in terms of like the average PF, because like Thunder God Sid was claiming every life imaginable. So this is basically the equivalent of our Void Arcs, our Void Arc apology.
I honestly think Yoshi P should have just held his ground on Thunder God Sid.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, honestly. Like,
but I get it, but I agree.
That was the fun. Oh, my God.
I still, even though he's easier now, I still like getting it.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I think now a lot of people, whenever I do Ultima, half the raid is dead by the time the bubble happens because people forget about Hashmal doing his dash. And so... Yeah, that Ultima is the real troll now. You still don't usually wipe, but Ultima is where the problems are. That half-room dash from Hash... I mean, to be fair, that half-room dash from Hashmal kills people on Hashmal. So...
One thing I've actually been thinking about, which they wouldn't do, but should consider, taking 24 man to making them into ultimates. Ivalice Ultimate.
Sly.
Yeah.
So they talked about the difficulty for the 11 raid, obviously. Talked about how they're going to be enhancing that. They may have also said that in 7.1 series, we will be receiving a Savage 24-man boss. Now, that's not an ultimate, and it's not Savage Final Fantasy XI. It's a single boss that is Savage difficulty for 24 people.
A single boss.
Single boss. They very specifically the translation says
not a council fight, I'm
talking about a single encounter. I don't know how many enemies there's going to be in the single boss. I'm saying it's not like you would enter World of Darkness on Savage and run through the whole thing from beginning to... I'm saying it'd be like if they dropped you at Cloud of Darkness. You know? It could be a bunch of bosses. Who knows? Maybe it is. But like, we don't know. All they've said is that there's something separate from the 11 Alliance raids. And this also makes it separate from the Exploration Zone, which is in 7.2x. The Occult Crescent is the first zone. It is as they said, that specifically what the translation says, and this is the official one in the article. It's not a Japanese to English, like, Google translated. It's like literally the interviews in English. So it's on the translator themselves. Is we are also doing a Savage, a 24-player Savage raid, but that's a separate boss entirely. That's what it says. We're doing a raid, but it's a separate boss entirely. So it's the language there is a bit scuffed, but I believe that will be just a singular boss.
We'll see how they pull this off. I mean, we've seen it before, but in more... How do I want to phrase this? We've seen this in content before. We've seen this in Delubrum and things like that. So to have just an isolated, singular Like, what reason? Like, for what? I want to see
So,
what for what. Okay,
I have an answer.
Oh, okay.
So it's separate from the 11 raid.
Okay.
But there's one boss in Final Fantasy XI that is notorious for being an alliance-sized boss. Exclusively an alliance-sized boss. And that is an encounter called Divine Might. And that is an encounter against all 5 of the archangels at one time. It is a notorious encounter within Final Fantasy XI. Now, I will say this. The only reason I don't think it's that is because I think the first 11 raid will end with the Shadow Lord. Now, in Final Fantasy XI, that's what releases the Archangels, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I think it would make more sense to do it the following Alliance raid, where we would likely encounter them for the first time anyway, as part of the raid itself, which is how I think it'll play. I think we'll fight Archangels, Camelot, Eldnark as part of the second Final Fantasy XI Alliance raid. But I can't help but have it on the front of my mind, especially if it is something, a separate boss. Because they didn't say it's a separate raid, like, to 11. They didn't, like, that's the problem, is there's so much vagueness. He didn't say, oh, it's like, oh, it doesn't have anything to do with 11. He's just like, oh, it's just a separate boss. And it's like, what the fuck does that mean? Who knows? But it's an interesting statement because, Sly, I want to pose you this thought. Okay. All right? 7.1 comes out. We have Interphos Extreme, which I'm very much looking forward to, by the way. Please don't screw it up like Endsinger, for the love of God. Interphos Extreme, Dungeon, MSQ, probably some a pretty major PvP stuff we'd expect, because they did say they would, like, really do most of their PvP stuff in 7.1. Oh, hold on, I gotta stretch. What else is in? Oh, Final Fantasy XI Alliance raid to start. What else is normally in point ones? I gotta go through my whole checklist. There's a bunch of other stuff. Whatever. Oh, tribe quests. That's another one. Allied Society quests. Unreal, which I'm hoping is Nidhogg. Really hoping it's Nidhogg. Yeah. The epilogue side quests for both crafting and gathering and for combat. Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that we already know for 7.1. Okay, cool. Great. Technically don't need to wake up early for that. You have 2 weeks after that before Ultimate comes out. So then you have Ultimate 2 weeks later. 6 weeks later would be a Savage 24 man. It's a lot of time off.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. Because then we also have, I mean, shorter stuff like Hildebrand, of course, would be coming in 0.15. Mm-hmm. You know, we wouldn't be starting the Relic yet. Thankfully, probably no Criterion if I had to guess for this patch. Though that's unconfirmed. You know, could be. I doubt it, but could be. I'm not worried about me because I live the neat life. I get to do this. So, of course, I can just fucking show up. I'm worried about all the other people I know because I remember what happened in Endwalker with content burnout. And I'm more concerned about... It's crazy to think that content burnout's even a problem when 14 does not have an overabundance of content. But it still happens.
Jaded. People were just jaded. People were just fucking jaded. And I will say that with my fucking chest. People were just jaded. Like, we have never, I hate even talking about it. We have never had the whole issue of, you know, well, there's nothing to do. And, you know, we should have stuff to make people want to play the game, where Yoshi P explicitly said, you know, go do some other shit. Now
even if you didn't want to do other shit, I've always been of the opinion that there is a lot. But the problem with Endwalker was not that there wasn't anything is that the reason to do them wasn't great, and we don't.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was always the problem with Endwalker. Endwalker
Right.
was very dense as for people who actually wanted to log in and do everything, but there was only that one time to do it for most content. That was the problem.
Right.
So people were like me and people around me would just get tired of doing the on wake up stuff, and then we'd still get it done, but it would just be over because we're like, oh, I'm not going to do that again. What's the point of doing that again?
Yeah, I just feel like, again, Endwalker showed a lot of flaws that, people like Endwalker highlighted a lot of flaws that, we naturally accept within the structure of the game. We naturally accepted, but it just made it more apparent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. And the other big thing is that getting people in the door for a lot of that content was very hard. Because, like, even if you wanted to do Criterion, right? If you weren't the on wake up person, getting it done was awful. Because people didn't want, they were like, what's the reason? Like, and people like, a lot of people, and I see this especially right now. In fact, somebody just asked me a pretty long-winded question about why would I do this stuff? Like, why would I put myself through an extreme trial and like wipe and die and like fail over and over again? Like it never crossed their minds even the idea of like, oh, I'm learning something new. I get to improve at the game. Maybe I want the, like they said, oh, they didn't really care about the mount or the loot. Like it just wasn't as enticing, which honestly, I imagine if it was enticing to them, they probably would have wanted to do it. That was the problem with Criterion, is that there's like, everyone looks for more reasons not to do something versus the idea of doing it to experience it.
Yeah.
And in Endwalker, if you weren't first in the door for a lot of things, people just could not find people to do it because of that reason, because of that like thinking process.
Yeah. Not
to mention, we did have the worst Relic series of all time and Island Sanctuary. So that really didn't help either. I'm not going to say Endwalker didn't have content issues in other ways, but in volume sense, there was plenty, just no incentive to do it. But right. Think about all it took was DSR, Abyssos, and Top to like kill a bunch of people's interest in Endgame.
Yeah.
Sly, I am 3 times more afraid of that in Dawn Trail. 3 times.
Why?
Because, okay, I said this the other day, and I'm going to say it again here. I'm going to look in the camera, and I want you to look back at me, Sly. Okay? This doesn't apply to you because it just doesn't matter to you. Hey, everyone. Now, a lot of you out there got into raiding here at the start of Dawn Trail. You went into the first tier of the Arcadian, the light heavyweight championship, and you succeeded. A lot of you beat it your very own week 1 for the first time ever. Maybe you're new and that was your first time to do it. Or maybe you've played for a while and you've never week 1. And I want to say, first of all, you should be proud of yourself. Don't let anyone talking about how easy the raid was diminish that you accomplished something new and that you feel good about it. Doesn't matter what we say. All that matters is that you had fun and you enjoy how you feel. That being said, I hope you're ready for a rude fucking awakening when we get to the rest of the fights that are going to be happening in this expansion. Just because you week 1 Savage does not mean your group is going to survive through for even more than a week. We saw it with DSR, and Asphodelos was a moderately difficult tier. Not super hard, but at the very least, Hesperos was a pretty tight check on whether or not your team had enough performance to get through it, especially week 1. And group after group after group fell and crumbled to DSR. And then Abyssos came around, and they fell and crumbled to that. And then Top came around, and they quit the game. So please be mentally prepared for what's about to come your way. Just know that while you may have come in on an easy one, and you should still be proud of it, check your egos at the door if you got one, because you're going to get fucked in the ass, and it's not going to be with
It ain't
Lou.
safe no more.
There you go.
It ain't safe no more.
It's not, it's not safe anymore. So I'm very scared for people who week 1 and feel like they're ready for Ultimate if they've never week 1'd before. Like they might be ready to casually do Ultimate, but a week 1 Ultimate is literally, there are friendships lost. There are statics broken. There are subs unsubbed during week 1 of Ultimate. I cannot stress that being a week 1 clear in this tier does not automatically put you in a spot where you are mentally ready for, even if it's an easy ultimate. Like, Ooh did this on content, all right? People broke over Ooh, and that's an easy one. That is an easy one.
See, back in my day, we had a thing called Midas.
Don't talk to me about Midas. We had this thing
called fucking Living Liquid, and
Living Liquid is Gordius. That's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Midas was also a problem. You were still on the right track. You just named the wrong boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, your group fucking broke on the second fight of Midas. I remember that. You guys didn't even make it past the fucking bot. You guys got stuck on Living Liquid, stopped raiding at Gordius, and then went back to Midas and stopped on the second boss instead of the third. I remember that for you, Sly.
Yep. There were different groups, though.
It still happened.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And then I get to creator and just get all the way fucking through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to have a Midas or Gordius situation. I don't even think we'll have an Abysso situation. They even called out the Abysso. He specifically said the reason they didn't rebalance the fight was they were afraid of an Abysso situation because it wasn't like tested enough. So, yeah, I don't think we'll have that. But like, I just want people to not think their preparation is done for Ultimate.
No.
Like, go do some low item level old raids. Go back and do old ultimates. Like, do something that isn't this tier, please. And spend. You know what? Also, I'll say this: while we're months out, play the game more than you could ever humanly want right now, to the point where you see how much you hate playing 12 to 16 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
Get immune to that shit now. Condition yourself to it. Go do fates. Go gather. Like, you don't even have to do hard shit. Just be on the game and be willing to be on the game and repeat a task for a week and see how you mentally handle that before you fucking show up to Ultimate.
I would say do that, but at the same time, do that with the people you were going to raid with.
Yeah, that too.
They're the people you're going to have to spend, like, 16 hours a day with if you're planning on doing this shit. So you might as well get used to, being with them for more than however long you fucking raid per week.
Play Pico Park with your group.
Oh God.
Play Chain Together in Pico Park with your group. There actually is a mod for Chain Together for 8 people, and Pico Park 2 allows 8 people, so. And do that for 12 hours.
We're actually suggesting team building. Wow.
No, this is team breaking, to be fair, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
It's like, you need to know if you can survive that, and not even win, but survive failing it over and over again. That's the important thing. You need to be able to survive failing over and over again. Yeah, break your group into... No, Rabbit and Steel. Is there an 8-player mod to Rabbit and Steel?
Yeah, I thought Rabbit and Steel was only 4.
That's why I'm asking if there's a mod. Because it wouldn't surprise me if somebody made a mod for Rabbit and Steel to make it 8. Again, especially given it was made by someone who was inspired by Final Fantasy XIV raids. Play Mario Party.
That's PvP.
Yeah, so is raiding sometimes. You've done M2 enough to know that.
Yep.
You're like, oh no, you're just dodging the hearts. You're like, no, I'm hoping that they're blocking the hearts. God. October for Mario Party, I think.
Yeah, I like how you and Midna on your fucking date night, kind of wrote me in. Yeah, we'll get.
Oh yeah, I mean, because we know you're coming.
Am I though?
Yeah.
You said October?
Yeah.
When fucking Metaphor's out?
When is... I think they're a week apart. What's the new one? Jamboree is what the new one's called?
Mm-hmm.
Super Mario Party Jamboree. Yeah, they're a week apart. I think Metaphor is the 10th or the 11th, and this is the 17th.
11th.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you got 6 days. You got like a third through the game, maybe.
Yeah.
Sly, there's no fusing.
How you're a fucking realist.
The game's got to be like 40 hours shorter. There's no fusing. Fusing is like 40 hours of the fucking of Persona as an SMT. You're like, oh, I made it 15 hours in. 13 hours of it was fucking fusing. All right. You have no idea how excited I am that I don't have to sit there fucking fusing everything at the start of the game.
I told you need to play fucking Digital Devil Saga. That's like the best thing for Final Fantasy people. No monster catching, no fusing, no nothing. It plays like 10, Final Fantasy 10. It's great.
All right, but I have Metaphor, so I'm good now.
Yeah.
Awaken! All right, there you go. That's what he yells in the trailer.
I know.
Play Risk with your team. There you go. Play Monopoly with your team. Okay, if you can play a 12-hour game of Monopoly with your raid team, you're ready for Ultimate.
You're ready for anything.
Playing a game of Monopoly to completion with house rules. Mm-hmm. None of that, like, oh, if you land on free parking, you collect what the bank's taxes are, like whatever the fucking house rules are. Talking about rule book rules. A multi-day metaphor. Yeah, do a D&D campaign, and each of you take turns being the DM.
Oh, wow.
Like, but you have to pick up
one shots.
Yeah, no. You do one campaign, but every day one of you swaps DM, and you have to swap the. So like that now, like you continue where the last DM left off, but now somebody else is the DM for a day, and they have to take your spot as the playable character. That sounds like probably the single most chaotic game of D&D that you could possibly have. Imagine spending an entire day getting the game ready, like setting everyone up, starting their adventure, and the next day, the next DM comes in and just fucks the whole thing. That'll test your patience, all right.
Yeah.
But that's those are the majority of the things that came out of it. There weren't really any super deep details about a lot of stuff, and that's probably because they were told they would probably have a live letter coming. I'll speak historically. We've sometimes been told like, hey, keep it to these topics, or like try to avoid this because, quite frankly, you probably won't get an answer because like we'll be doing a live. Like I'm sure they didn't ask, like, oh, in 7.1, are we getting this? Or getting like they're not going to do that. He just answer with, well, I can't tell you that. But all the same, I'm expecting TGS will probably be 7.1 live letter. We're a few weeks out from that still. Maybe we'll get some stuff before then. We know that they're doing like something in October. He's going to PAX Australia. We have TGS. I think he's in PAX West, I think, this weekend. Wasn't he just at something else? I don't remember. Either way.
Besides Gamescom?
No, yeah, I think he was at Gamescom, and then he's going. I think he's going to PAX. I don't know. The dude's all over the place right now. Yeah, but yeah, I think that's gonna be right. We just wanted to check in and show face since we haven't done a show in a little bit.
We're here.
Yeah, just that's all on me. I've been the reason why we haven't had any shows the last several weeks, and we'll see about next week since we have. I have Aloha here, and if he's too much of a bit of trouble, then I won't. But I have an idea for next week's show at the very least. So we'll see.
Do I need to wrangle?
You shouldn't. If my idea pans out, you shouldn't need to wrangle at all. But that's only if I can mentally handle it after next week.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, that's going to be a wrap for this week's episode of State of the Realm. I'm glad we got to catch up and dawdle around a bit. Even if I also really wanted to be playing Visions of Mana right now. Listen, that's just how it is, man. I beat Wukong. I got a Vision.
It was so fun.
I thought it was, yeah.
I know.
I don't like spamming light attack the whole fucking game.
That is true, but like a lot of people say that. I'm like, you could, stance a little, make it interesting.
There's no point though. And even then, it's still just 3 other attacks.
Yeah.
Like, why do that when I can just every time? It's like the best one.
I think the best one's the smash, but.
The smash was good when I got there was a weapon that made it like explode in fire. That was when I started using smash. Yeah. But the pull extendo with the range was very handy, especially on, I won't say the name of the secret boss, but on the secret boss. Secret boss was the only boss in that game that was hard also. That really annoyed me. I was so bored fighting most bosses in that game.
To me, it actually wasn't. It was like,
it wasn't that bad, but it was the hardest.
It wasn't that bad. The secret boss, you're in the snow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it wasn't that bad. It took me like a couple tries after, and I was like, oh, I got an idea. And I did it, and then it was like, well, fuck,
it's funny because I had a similar thing, but it was like after 4 or 5 attempts of me trying to do something that was purely executional, I said, let me do this, and then I beat him on the very next one.
Yeah. and then the fight after was just peak. That was probably the best thing of the game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably. Give you that. Yeah, there was only one other boss that was annoying, and I don't want to say what it was again, but it was, let's just say it was on 4 legs and could go fuck itself in the face for all I cared.
Four-legged boss. I didn't have really trouble any.
I hated that fucking, I hated breaking that thing's legs to hit its face. I hated that fucking boss. I hated it going untargetable for 30 seconds at a fucking time.
What was that?
Manny wheel.
Which area?
Manny wheel.
Huh?
In the middle of the Manny wheel.
The Manny wheel?
That's where you get cursed the whole time when you're running through. Yeah, 4-legged fuckface at the end of that. Yeah. That was just tedious. I hated that thing. Wasn't like hard, I was just annoyed.
Yeah. It's annoying.
Yeah. I was annoyed more than anything else there.
Yeah.
Still, good game. I thought it was good. Yeah. Just I'm a bit of a stickler for action. You got to remember, I'm a Devil May Cry player. If you only make me spam, the fact that Visions of Mana has more complicated combos than Wukong upsets me. All right, like I'm genuinely upset by that. Visions of Mana is like stagger press square to do this launcher, and then hold triangle to do this while airborne, or hold triangle on the ground to do this, and I'm just like, oh my god, it has fucking stringed combos, and I can't believe Wukong doesn't. Maybe in the next one. Apparently it's a trilogy. Apparently that's what I've heard. Wukong, or at least it was originally made to be a trilogy. I don't fucking know. I'd rather play as a different mythological legend in a different game, different Chinese mythology. There's a lot of other ones. But, you know.
It's on Neza. It's on Neza in some cutscenes. So
yeah, Neza was there.
Yeah.
That's it. I wouldn't mind playing as Neza. That would be fun. But more monkey. Yeah, maybe just do more monkey. A lot more monkey. It'll take another 7 fucking years maybe, but, you know, there's more monkey. All right, so we're going to wrap up here and get on with our days. I wish you the best of luck with Raid. Sly, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you at and what you're currently doing?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Sly, aka Gray Fox. You can find me on Twitter at Sly, aka Gray Fox. What I'm up to now that I'm done with Monkey, besides Raid, Gundam. And it's so much fun, I swear to God. Even that has better combos than Monkey. Has better combat than Monkey. Plus, you can put together your own Gundam. Your own Abomination. But other than that, kind of getting ready for football.
Oh God,
football's back. College is this weekend. NFL starts next weekend. Next weekend, I'll probably make wings and do it live.
Wings. You know, it's funny. It's so funny you mentioned wings because I've hit a point with my fitness goals where I can't do cheat meals, not because I am unable to, but because I do not desire them, and it's upsetting me. I went to the grocery store yesterday, and I was like, I need something disgusting, right? Like I need to like, I mean anything that's like major junk, you know? Like you might be sick afterwards, you know? And I looked at all the things that would make me sick afterwards, and instead I bought Greek yogurt fudge pops. which are anything but disgusting. I can eat a whole bag of them, and it's like 4 of those is like 400 calories.
Disgusting
and like
in the amount that you can take. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's literally like 20 grams of protein and like no fat, and I'm just like, fuck it. Here we go. Meanwhile, I'm looking at this double chocolate cake knowing, now that's disgusting. I want that fucking double chocolate cake with chocolate sprinkles with a fucking scoop of ice cream over top. That's disgusting. I want that. But I'm like, I'm going to get the Greek yogurt pops. I was like, man, I could go for a pizza. You know what I did? I went home and made steaks instead, which to be fair is not, bad. But still, I couldn't commit all the way to buying and eating a whole pizza when I know full well I could fucking destroy that whole pizza. Now I want the pizza.
There you go.
No pineapple, though.
No.
Well, hopefully you enjoy your upcoming football season and your metaphor season. Yeah. It's going to be good, Sly.
It will be.
I think it's going to be my favorite Atlas game. That's as someone who hasn't played SMT or the other ones. Or at least not enough.
Not enough. We still got to get you to
Listen, I liked SMT5. I like what I was playing. It's fine.
Okay.
Good. Yeah. I, on the other hand, am playing through Visions of Mana right now and enjoying that thoroughly. Mm-hmm. And then I have no idea. I have the PvP thing tonight, and then I've got my usual 14 goals still left in the tank. I'm supposed to be going to TwitchCon in 3 weeks, but if Aloha's situation isn't that good, I will not be going to TwitchCon because that's very expensive, and he may be very expensive as well. So that I will know after Wednesday. So please stay tuned for that. And otherwise, I am just trucking along. I kind of want to maybe start that achievement thing. I should really do the Final Fantasy XIV achievements ahead of time so I can grandfather them in December and not actually have to do any crafting or gathering then. So that's a potential plan for September, is to make headway on 5,000 crafting collectibles. Psychon Barbaros is apparently the one that's been recommended to me.
Yeah. I like the day of patch because I overprepared last expansion. I had I'm gonna say 200 of those in my retainers, and I just used that to A, get my books, and B, get maybe some material.
I would need 4,800 more than that. I have a grand total of this many crafting collectibles ever done in this game.
Oh, there you go.
Someone's like, the letter B? Shut up. Anyway. Or D, actually, I don't know, because my camera might be flipped. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it D or B?
It's
B.
D for me.
Okay, yeah, it's D for you. Of course, it's the D for you. Anyway. Yeah. But that's going to be a wrap for this week's episode. We're going to go into a short post show, and then I'm probably going to go take care of it. Oh, I gotta go for a walk, get an ab workout in, and then figure out what I'm doing for food. Oh no, that's right. I'm gonna cook the turkey and do the pork. There you go. And I got veggies all over. Yeah. So thanks for everyone for coming by. Thanks for hanging out on YouTube. Hopefully you enjoyed this little chat and this little check-in. And again, we will let you know about next week. If you see an episode next week on YouTube, then we did it. That's it. That's kind of your only heads up, I suppose.
We did it.
We did it. I don't even have the correct outro set up, Sly. Because we haven't done, the last show we did was with Arthur's and Junebug. I forgot that was the last show that we did, to be honest. I didn't think it was that long ago, but it's been like 3 or 4 weeks. And funnily enough, whenever I want our outro, for some reason, I don't have our outro as, I don't use the same naming convention as I do with all the rest of them. So normally I do I put both the names of the guests specifically and outro, but for ours, it's just SOTR outro. So I keep looking for the word Sly, and it's just not there. Yeah. But yeah, we're going to go into post show. Yeah, we're going to hang out for just a few minutes. All right, sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll maybe see you next week. Maybe not. I don't know.
We'll see you soon. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.